The jacket's still on the hook by the door. She left the keys on the counter because she never used the hook I put up. 9 years I had that hook on the wall, and she'd drop her keys on the counter and I'd move them to the hook, and the next night they'd be right back on the counter. 9 years of that. I used to get annoyed by it, and now I'd give anything to walk in and find her keys on the counter one more time. And I know how that sounds, but it's true, so there it is. Her shampoo's in the shower, almost empty. I haven't moved any of her things, and I don't think it's because I'm not ready. I think it's because I shouldn't get to. I haven't earned that yet. It's cold in here tonight. I don't know what's going on with the furnace because I can hear the igniter clicking, but nothing's catching. Just as ticking from somewhere in the walls. And the cold isn't normal cold. It's inside me all the way through. The kind of cold that sitting under a blanket isn't going to fix. There's a smell too. Metallic, sharp. Smells like when a line cracks on a condenser unit and the refrigerant gets out. That acidic bite. Except it's everywhere, and I can't find where it's coming from, and it keeps getting worse. My legs won't move. I've been on this couch for a while now, and when I try to shift them, they just don't respond. I'm so tired that it just feels like the rest of it. Like the cold, like the smell, like this house without her in it. Jenny died on a Thursday. Car accident. I got the call at work and I don't remember driving to the hospital. A doctor told me it should be a closed casket and I said okay because what do you say to that? So I never saw her. I don't know what the accident did and I lie here trying to picture it and I can't stop trying. She used to call from the car on her way home. Every night, just to say she was leaving, ask if I wanted anything. She hummed while she drove, this thing she did, not a real song. Just something that was hers. I could hear it through the phone. She'd pull in and the engine would cut, and a minute later, I'd hear her knock. 2 fast ones, a pause, then one more. I'd hear that and my legs would already be moving, off the couch, down the hall, because that was Jenny at the door. She had her keys in her purse and she knocked anyway. I think she liked that I came to let her in. The porch light just came on. I can see it through the front window, warm and yellow. And I set that timer years ago so she'd never come home to a dark porch. Never changed it. My brother calls, people from work check in. I just sit here and the light clicks on and the porch sits there empty. And I keep meaning to fix the furnace. I keep meaning to do a lot of things. My phone lit up on the cushion next to me. Her name on the screen. I grabbed for it and my hands were wrong, stiff, slow. And I almost couldn't hold on to it, but I got it to my ear and there she was. The voicemail from that Thursday. Her in the car, saying she was leaving work, asking if I wanted her to grab anything. Sounding the way she always sounded, like she was going to walk through the door in 20 minutes. I held the phone against my face and let it play because it was her, and the room was so cold and she was the only thing in here that wasn't. It played again. I don't know if I replayed it or if it just started over on its own, but it was playing and I let it. Over and over. Her voice. Love you, bye. And each time it ended, I waited for it to start. And it did. And then, it didn't end. After the part where she always said bye, the message kept going and I could hear the highway, tires on the road, wind. And underneath that, her humming. That thing she did. And she was still driving. The message should have been over and she was still in the car. I just lay there and listened to my wife drive home on a voicemail that wouldn't stop. Every time it played, there was more. More of the drive, the blinker when she changed lanes, her humming the whole way. More road underneath her. I don't know how many times it played. I just know that every time there was more of the drive that hadn't been there before. And then it wasn't the drive anymore. The highway dropped out and I could hear something else. Concrete, metal, someone breathing hard, close, the way you breathe when you're on your back under something heavy. I knew that breathing because it was mine. A ratchet, something wet hitting a garage floor, and my whole body went tight because I knew those sounds. The phone was playing something back to me that wasn't a voicemail, and I tried to stop it, and my hands wouldn't work on the screen. I pressed and nothing happened, and the sounds kept coming. Then the argument. Her voice and my voice, and they were both ugly. She was quiet, steady, the way she got when she'd already made up her mind. And I was loud and getting louder, and I could hear myself on it, and I sounded like someone I didn't want to be. She told me she was done. She'd said it, and it was just sitting there between us, and I could hear what I sounded like when I realized she meant it. The phone went quiet, and then her voice. Wet. Close. Right against my ear. I'm coming home. And then the knocking started. 2 and 1 from the front door. Except it didn't sound like knuckles on wood. It sounded like something wet hitting metal. Tick, tick. Talk. I tried to stand and my legs were gone. Not heavy anymore. Just gone. Nothing. And when I reached down to touch them, my hands came back wet. I told myself it was sweat. I knew it wasn't. The ticking kept coming. Tick, tick, talk. 2 and 1, her pattern. But the sound was wrong, and I needed to get to the door. I got off the couch and onto the floor and dragged myself across the living room because my legs weren't part of me anymore. The floor was cold under my palms and I could feel things underneath them, small and hard, like grit or glass. And I told myself it was something I'd tracked in on my boots. I got to the door and couldn't pull myself up. My arms were going the way my legs had gone, the cold eating up through me, slower and stiffer. But there's a side light next to the front door, one of those narrow panels that goes almost to the floor. And I got myself in front of it and looked through the glass. Jenny was on the porch. I could see her through the side light, standing the way she stood when she was waiting for me. Weight on one foot, her brown purse on her shoulder. The porch light was behind her, so I couldn't see much past her, just her shape and the light and the driveway behind her in the dark. But from the neck up, I could see her face. She looked like my wife. She had that half smile she did when she knew I was taking too long to answer the door. I started to look lower and my eyes locked. They would not go past her chin. Something in me wouldn't let them. "Can you open the door?" she said. "I forgot my keys." She used to say that when she knocked instead of digging through her purse. And when I heard it, my hand went for the deadbolt and my arm barely moved. Everything was going numb and the surface against my back was wrong, rigid and hard. Not a wall, and the floor was wet under me now. Not a little wet, really wet. And none of it made sense anymore, and I knew it, and I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't open it. I couldn't reach. All I could do was talk, and even that was going. "Jenny, I'm sorry." She was leaving. She told me she was done, and I went to the garage. And I got my back on the concrete. I could feel the grease on my hands. I could hear the line when it went. Jenny, I was going to fix it. I was going to go back out there and undo it before, tick, tick, talk, before morning. I was going to crawl back under and reconnect it, and I didn't. I kept meaning to, and then we were both in the car and I was driving and the pedal went down and it didn't come back. Jenny, it went all the way to the floor. "I just wanted you to stay. That's all it was. Tick, tick. I broke something and I didn't fix it and I'm sorry. I'm sorry." The ticking kept going. All night, or what felt like all night. I lay there against whatever I was leaning against, and the cold was in everything, and the smell was in everything, and I couldn't move. The ticking stopped. I don't know when. It just wasn't there anymore. Completely quiet, no ticking, no wind, nothing. And I was still leaning against the wall, and my legs were gone, and my arms were gone, and I made a decision. I was going to open the door. Whatever was on the other side, I was going to face it. Because I'd been lying here all night, telling myself I couldn't. And the truth is, I just didn't, and I wasn't going to do that anymore. I reached for the doorknob. My arm moved, barely. I found it, and I turned, and I pulled. There was no porch. I was on my back. The thing against my spine was metal, rigid and buckled. My legs were under the dashboard, crushed. They were not coming out. One headlight, cut through trees, broken glass, and dark. That warm yellow light I've been seeing all night. That's what it was. The ticking, 2 and 1. Tick, tick, tock. That was the radiator, dripping onto the buckled hood. I turned my head to the right. Jenny was in the passenger seat. She'd been there the whole time, the way the impact left her. I didn't look away. Jenny, I'm here.